Hi, my name is Noshad, some of you guys know me as Sean, and this is my Spurs video podcast. Spurs, Rubin Kazan. I predicted a 2-1 victory for Rubin Kazan, and I take no comfort in getting the margin right. A loss is a loss, and it's never good to lose. That being said, hopefully learn more from a loss than you will from victory. And let's face it, the Europa League is not a competition we care about. Let's face it. I said this. I would rather be, I'd rather end up being, it's not taking the choice. You can be fourth and go out in the first round of League Cup, FA Cup, all of those things, or you can end up, you can win the FA Cup, win the Europa League, win the league, end up fifth. It's an obvious choice. Let's do some quick player ratings. Man of the match for me, Carlo Guccini, 9. Could not do anything for that goal. 9 out of 10, definitely for him. He did, called upon, definitely. If you think about it, we didn't have a single, I can't remember a single shot on target we even had. So, I think that says how good he was. Young Ryan Fredericks, 6, let's face it. It really would be, Charlie playing that. Obviously, he's injured, or Carl Norton if he wasn't away at Norwich. So, he's playing a game that he really shouldn't be playing. So, or you wouldn't be expecting him to play. So I think he did fair enough. Obviously, and I don't think he got much protection from Falke. Obviously, that's the first time I think only the second time those two have played together. So it's going to be a tough league for them. So I think give him a 6. I think that's fair. He got forward, defended, when he had to. So yeah, Gallas, I'm going to give an 8. I think he was imperious and absolutely, he commanded, made some good tackles. I mean, every bit of experience he had, he used them all basically. Basson, I'm going to give a 5. The job of a defender is to clear his lines. I think a lot of players fall into what I call the Rio Ferdinand syndrome, where they feel the need to play out the ball out of defence, or the Samar, what do you mean? Your first job is to clear your lines. If you can turn defence into attack, then by all means, go for it, do you know what I mean? But clear your lines first. And, especially in such a vital area. I mean, that's just big, first you give it away, and you see him, he doesn't control the ball well, he's looking to set the pass up, just clear it, Clear it, just do your job. If you have a bit of space, if you have the space or the skill, then yes, do something fancy. Clear your lines first. Townsend, 6. He's not a left back, he's a left winger. And then he broke forward well, proper lung buster. And I think I'm assuming he'll probably go. I hope he can go out alone in January. Then definitely, hopefully, he'll go somewhere they can play him as a left winger. I think he'll do very well. I think he's got the energy. He'll track back. He's learned a bit more about defending, hopefully, and I think definitely has to improve the quality of his final ball. But I mean, how many players have we said that about? He looks strong enough. He just needs to improve with that quality of his final ball. Across the midfield, Falke, give him a 6. I think he's played better than I've ever seen Gio dos Santos ever play for us. I mean, I wanted Gio to play really well for us, but it's not there. Falke shown a lot more in that one game for me than he ever has. Going to give him a 6. I think he played well. Tried to put those passes in. Always been a threat. Did play the inverse out winger very well. I mean, there was that time we went to the byline. That's where the ball ended up, and obviously he's on his weak foot. I think he needs to start learning to cross. I'm tired. I know English wings are better crossing with they're stronger foot, but if occasionally you will get to the byline, you need to learn to cross with your weak foot. So, but I'll give him a 6. Carroll. It was a quiet game. It was tidy, but admittedly, he's not the heartbeat of our team. The way Luka Modric is, and I think the same arguments that were made against Luka Modric in 2008 when he first joined us. We weren't really playing as effectively as we could do. He's too slight. Blah blah blah. Obviously, Luka Modric had the opportunity to play in the Bosnian league much more tougher league. Obviously, Carroll hasn't had that, been afforded that same opportunity. But I think, given time, he will come good, but we'll see. Livermore, but I'll give him a 6. Same for Livermore. I think first half he played pretty well. It was box to box, got forward, got back, and there were times in which he could have been seriously exposed. We weren't, so I'll give that. Pienaar, 6, but I'm disappointed though because I really think he could do better than that. I really do. I don't know what it is. Maybe he's just one of those players that, because like Arteta was for Everton, like Cahill is now for Everton, you think, he's a really good player, and look, at 3 million, that's an absolute bargain. But I still think that there's someone here. He's a former Ajax player. There's a reason why Borussia Dortmund let him go on loan. I think there's a reason for that. Maybe he is ultimately a big fish in a small pond, and I think maybe it's a step up he can't handle. I don't know, but something's not right. Pav, he would share my flop of the match. Goal.com, if you go to that great site, they have a flop of the match. He would share that with Besson. I mean, caught offside so many times. Some really poor touches. He tried to play a dummy there was no one. There was a sea of red shirts, and there was no one. He tries to dummy it or run over it. No, I just don't get it. And that Jermaine Defoe, I want to give him a 5 as well because he was ineffective. But to be totally fair, he didn't have any service, but he did work. But I'm gonna give him a 6. I'm gonna give him 5.5 because it was a stupid yellow card. I am always pissed when you get the yellow card for dissent. The one thing they teach you, the referee gives a decision, talk to the referee in the right way. But if he's made up his mind, you're not going to change it. Unless you're Man United and you're crowding around him like that. The old Roy Keane style, you're not going to change his mind. So just let it go, get on with the game. So I think 5.5. Definitely wasn't as bad as Pav or best song, but definitely, I don't think he was worth a 6. Parrott, Kane, and I'm trying to think who was the other. I think there was the third one, wasn't it? No, I can't remember now. I definitely had Parrott and Kane come on. Parrott played alright. Got caught in possession a few times, but I don't think he's played that much for us this season. So it's a big ask for for a young man, and I think he's only 17 or something. So it's a huge step up. I mean, anyone can look good in the reserves, on the youth, on the next gen, but it's a huge step up from that to this. Going for Kane, you really want to do well. You really are willing him to do well, but I think, is he going to lead Barnard Mark 2? Only time will tell. Some players, I mean, let's face it, Gal, I think, is playing for Swansea now, so he's obviously returned to the Premiership, but I think he was one of those players that was at Spurs, let go, or like Crouch basically, went to the low league, then came back up. So I just don't think he's that missing ingredient, what you need for him to be there, for whatever reason, just isn't. So but overall, I think they'll learn from this. I think from one point for the young kids, your Townsends, your Falcos, Carroll, Fredericks and Townsend, how do they handle defeat? How do they handle, what do? They talk to coaches of what could I have done better? Do they actually write down? Do they actually know what they did wrong? They write down, like, I know I did this wrong. What else did I do wrong? I don't think I noticed it. And where are they? This is a real character development. I think Harry's always talking about characters and good old-fashioned character, terrific character. This is what we see if they have it or not. Have they got the mental strength to deal with it? If any of you guys read the books that goes to White Hart Lane, it's a great book by Rob White. It talks about a game where John White considered one of our greatest ever players, but he had some poor games. Everyone has poor games. I don't know a single player that hasn't had a pretty game where they think, they kind of sucked. Everyone has those. That you have those games where just nothing's happening for you. But it's how you handle them, and I think how they handle it will be very important. In terms, obviously Harry wasn't there. People may talk about that. And obviously Harry, has got good man management, how he'll turn things around, half-time team talks, all that kind of stuff. Obviously he'll be around for the Fulham game, we hope. But I think, if anything, I think those people who'll be playing the Fulham team, probably the same 11 that played against QPR, they'll be trying to show that there's a reason why we are the Premiership side and why you guys are the Europa. I'm really disappointed with, say, the experienced players that we played last night, apart from Gallas and Kudicini. I think, you had those four, and Nico Cranchar, who I really rate, and I think if you can have a player with the skill of Nico Cranchar, with the athleticism of Jermaine Jennings, and it can combine it, can run, show that athleticism and that skill at the same time, let's face it, you'd be playing at Barcelona or something, because that's what you'd want. Unfortunately, we have players that haven't got enough of both, really. They have one or the other, they can't mesh the two together, I don't think. I mean, my personal feelings is I think we will see, beyond the season, Pav, JD, Pinar and Nico and Basson, I'll be surprised because all those players are good. They are good players. They're not very good or excellent. I think that's the difference. They're the kind of players you would see they'll do great in a mid-table club. They're the kind of they do well at a club like Stoke, or those kind of teams, or Aston Villas or something. Not just Aston Villa, but you're on kind of mid-table now. So anyway, I'm going to give a big shout out to Jez Kinsella, the Spurs Forum.UK. He was posting and not just because we were echoing the same thoughts about Bassam. And all guys in Spurs Odyssey, great site, check it out. There's some really great sites, just newsnow.co.uk. You'll see a ton of them. Cartridge Caps and one I like to use quite a lot. So check that out. Please click on the ad links, help make me a few pennies. And obviously you're disappointed to lose, but let's make a move on and let's just see what we can do with this. And anyway, and if before I sign off, if you look at our injuries, yes, I mean in terms of players that we're missing, that we wouldn't miss much for the Premiership side. Your Charlies, your Nicos. I won't include Hudson and Dawson in that list, but are they really our first choices now? Your Danny Rose. That's 5 players. If you put those 5 players in that team, I think we'll see a much more different result. I think we might even get a win out of that. The injuries have hurt us, but the 5 players that we are missing, we're not really missing that much. And obviously, you want players. You think, do you know what? If I don't play, these players will come in and take my place, and that's it. I'll be out for a long time for injury. I wouldn't be surprised if we lost these. If these players do go, but that'll be for another video podcast. I hope you enjoy this one, and inbox me on YouTube or Spurs Odyssey or Spurs Forum, or if you message me on Facebook, inbox me and I'll try and give you a shout out. I really hope you enjoy this, and come on you Spurs.